Hi, my name is Dr. Tanya. I'm also known as Dr. Cutress, and today I'm here to tell you the top questions you want to ask your gynecologist but are too afraid to ask. Let's talk about vagina and vulval health. What is a pap smear and why do I need it? So, a pap smear is basically an internal examination where they will look at something called your cervix. Now, your uterus, this is the part where the baby stays, has a little corridor at the end. And this corridor has its doors shut all the time. This corridor is called the cervix, and it sort of protects the uterus and keeps the door shut. Every once in a while, which is to say that once you're sexually active every 3 years while you're in your reproductive age, you should get a cervical exam in which they can take cells from your cervix and see if there's anything abnormal happening here. So cervix owners and women in India, there's two most common cancers in us. The first is in rural women, it's cervical cancer. In urban women, it is breast cancer. Switch it the other way around. For urban women, the second most common cancer is cervical, and for rural women, the second most common cancer is breast cancer. So it is a very, 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 very common cancer. But here's the best part. It is one of the cancers that can most easily be diagnosed. It can be diagnosed at the earliest stages. It does not require any fancy medical tests that involve any cutting or any cameras going inside you, anything of that sort. It's just a simple test where they put a small soft brush inside your vagina, take cells from your cervix and take it out. It doesn't hurt. It can feel funny because somebody literally has a brush inside you, but it's not painful. So if there's such a simple, non-invasive, non-painful test that can help diagnose and prevent cancer, why don't we get it done more often? The second question that I get is my pubic hair all right? Do I need to shave it? Do I need to wax it? What do I do with it? And we have a video on that, so go check that out. The other question we get very often, this is a very common question and you will see lots of YouTube videos about it that are full of absolute crap, is that my inner thighs or my vulva is darker than the rest of my skin. What do I do about it? How do I cure it? And let me tell you, this is perfectly 100% normal. Brown people like us in particular, have darker inner thighs, have pigmentation on the inner thighs, have pigmentation on the vulva. This is a result of hormonal changes in our body, and this is not abnormal. Unless, of course, there has been a sudden change in the color of your skin, if it's been brownish before and suddenly become black overnight, or if it's raw or painful to touch or anything of that sort, then you need to see a doctor. But inner thigh pigmentation is not abnormal. So now that I've become very, very angry about that question, I'm going to address sort of the last question that we tend to get a lot, how their vulva looks, which is that a lot of people are concerned that, I have very long lips, which means not these lips, the lips downstairs. They don't look as symmetrical or as perfect as they do in pornography or wherever else you've seen them. And that's also normal. A lot of people have long lips. A lot of people have one long lip and one, say, shorter lip. A lot of people have lips that don't protrude outside at all. This is fine. We come in a huge variety of shapes and sizes. There is no right or wrong. Don't feel shame around this. Don't try to go get surgery for this, unless, of course, that empowers you in some way, but it's not something you should feel shame around. Now that we've talked about the major questions we get about our bodies, especially about our boobs and our vulvas and our vaginas, let's talk about another very, very, very important question, which has to do with our health in general, which is our period health. A lot of people are very concerned about, having pain or tightness in the breasts before your period. This is a part of PMS and this is normal. You don't need to freak out about this. It just happens because of the way our body is responding to the change in hormones. And what happens is we start storing a little bit more water in our body. This is called water retention. And if you hold, say, 5 drops of water over here, it's all right. But if you hold, 5 lakh drops of water, this can swell a little bit in this tiny space, right? So if you hold 5 lakh drops of water, it can swell a little bit. And this is kind of what happens in PMS. Your body is holding a little bit of water at all the time, but in PMS, you're feeling a little bit bloated. So your body is holding more water, which means the breast can feel a little bit painful and tight, and this is all right. This is a normal part of PMS. You can use certain things to relieve it. You can change your diet a little bit before your period. You can also speak to your doctor if this is something that's really troubling you, but this is a normal part of PMS, unfortunately. The other thing that people tend to worry about is period Like, can I eat pickles on my period? Yes, you can. Can I wash my hair on my period? Yes, you can. It will not make your uterus swell or what other nonsense you may have read on WhatsApp. So the next period myth is, can you have painkillers or not? Will it make you infertile? And here's the thing, having painkillers on your period will not make you infertile. Having painkiller on your periods is not a bad thing. Having said that, if you have very, very, very bad pain, so much so that you can't do routine life stuff, you should see your doctor. It could be an underlying condition that can be diagnosed and managed. So, periods are a normal part of our life. They don't need to be treated as something bad. It is perfectly healthy, it's perfectly natural, it's perfectly normal.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any videos by us.